Untap.
Welcome back to MTGYou, the Magic the Gathering podcast for you. I'm James.
You're only given one small spark of madness. You mustn't lose it. I'm Damon.
I used to think the worst thing in life was to end up all alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up with people that make you feel all alone. I'm Blades.
Never pick a fight with an ugly person. They've got nothing to lose. I'm Rich.
It's Thursday, the 14th of August, 2014. We're coming to you live from our new Studio U. Thanks for joining us. This is episode 47.
Upkeep.
So at the top there, the quotes today were dedicated to
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. Those were Robin Williams quotes, and our hearts go out to his family. And yeah, it's been a big deal for me and everybody.
Yeah, absolutely everybody. Like, he was one person that I've always respected, Robin Williams, but I never really knew that he had such a large impact on
the
my
world
life
as a whole,
and
right?
The world as a whole, like,
Yeah.
because everything is so much affected. Stars can die every day, and like, you could care less. Like Kardashians, like, nobody really cares. But Robin Williams, like, that actually
Throwing it
brings
out
a
there.
tear to my eye.
Yeah.
Under the bus. Sorry.
No, and especially when people die the way that they, when it's because of things such as depression or other things like that, it brings so much more, because you think, oh, I wish something could have been done about it.
Was it for sure suicide, though?
It was absolutely suicide.
Yeah. They haven't said for sure, but even from the beginning, they suspected from it.
The police report has been released. He was found with cut marks on his wrists and a belt around his neck. He was found in a hanging, sitting
Why would you
situation.
do both?
I don't know.
He tried to do the cuts. Apparently, they didn't work, so he took the belt around his neck, and then he put it up above a door, closed the door, and then just sort of sat down.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of conspiracies actually going
Yeah.
on about like the whole his death and stuff, and
Which is ridiculous.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say that.
I don't know. I guess to me, anyways, the big thing that hits home for me in all of this is just I personally in my life have people who are affected by anxiety, depression, just mental health stuff. And I've been affected by this stuff, on a personal level as well. I'm also a nurse, so I have that background also. And I just feel like it's really important, like if you are in a place that you feel like you need help, that you reach out and do that. And if you know somebody that needs help, that you reach out and do that too, because like it's one of the ways you can honestly like save a life.
Right.
It's amazing how just being connected to other people is a big deal.
And I realize this is kind of a downer way to start our
hoping
podcast.
To start down and just go from here, right?
But it really is. We're just trying to bring some awareness to this because you wouldn't tell somebody that has kidney failure to get over it, right? Or if you're suffering from cancer, just cheer up.
Okay. Yeah, well,
and depression is the brain
lacking chemicals.
Well, it's your
and stuff,
chemical.
right?
Yeah. It's exactly.
It's
chemicals.
it's like the same thing with diabetes. Your body just doesn't make insulin. And
It's
so
just
you need to take
another
medication for
disease,
it.
right?
It is.
Like-
It very much is a disease that needs to be addressed, but we don't really think of it that way.
There's definitely a stigma associated with mental health. So, anyways, this is us trying to be a part of the Magic community. Our public health announcement to just say,
That's right.
Everyone love everyone.
Yeah, and be aware of it. And if you ever have the suspicion that someone's reaching out for help, be there. I've had times in my life where people have reached out to me, and it's made a lot of difference. So.
Absolutely, and be conscious of how you're treating other people.
Yeah.
Actually, today at my day job, I've been overhearing this one person constantly degrade this one other person throughout the week, and I actually had to pull the other person aside and just be like, hey, this is not how it actually is. This other person is just a really big jerk. You are a highly valuable person in this workplace, and I just want you to recognize that. So it's just something like that, even though it doesn't seem like it's such a big deal, it's actually a really big deal, I do feel like.
Yep. Public service announcement for today. So be good to people. And you probably noticed that we're in a new studio.
Heck yeah.
This is our new permanent studio. We have school starting here for my kids.
Those of you in podcast land,
Yeah.
you're like,
Well, maybe you hear like a bigger, more robust sound because we have a larger resonation chamber for our voices.
That's right.
That we do.
So
That
we hope
we
it sounds
do.
good on the podcast. So yeah, we're working on this new studio. It's pretty cool, and
there's saws and stuff.
there's a whole
Like
And there's a soldering kit. Oh, there's an amp.
Saw, as in like that old movie of where the guy lets them hurt themselves.
Old movie. They're like on like number 7 now.
That's true.
Which means it's got to be old.
Speaking of old things, I first got my Gmail account back in high school, which brings us back to Google. Google has just announced not
bringing
too long
it back
ago.
around.
Yeah, no, I'm bringing it back around. Anyways, Google for really is buying Twitch, and
Rich, is that your segue?
yeah, he's
this,
writing on his
now
segue.
it's insane. It's like, wait, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna do this.
Yeah.
This is the symbol for segue. Good. I like
Anyways,
it.
and one of the reasons that we know this is that Twitch has instated all of these policies regarding copyrighted music. And so if you're using copyrighted music when you have your playback on Twitch, they'll actually just like insert a half-hour block of silence, essentially like making your stream useless, unless all you're doing is like exotic dancing, or not exotic, but like
Whoa. I can do this. We can do this.
no. What I meant was modern dancing. You just
Interpretive dancing.
Interpretive
Like
dancing.
I was like
thank you.
moderate dancing.
Yeah.
Like, my sister.
What about our Emrakul dance? Does that work?
The Emrakul dance, yeah. So, I mean, that doesn't need a soundtrack. You just jam whatever you want.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Anyways, but yeah, so it's really going to change the way that I think people have to do streaming from now on, in that they can't have all sorts of copyrighted music, which is kind of a bummer if they want people to like watch them and listen to them afterwards. So
Yeah.
anyways, kind of a big...
We haven't tried that out
Kind
yet.
of a
I do
big
have
deal.
I do have the permission to use a few some music from a few artists, and I don't know if that will get
Give Picasso.
no
Yeah.
He said artists.
troll.
Wow, it's going to be a long podcast, guys.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
moving right
keep-
along.
Coming up next Friday, there's a new product being released.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
next Friday is the
That's
From
in
the
tomorrow,
Vault.
right?
Is that tomorrow?
Annihilation. No, it's the 22nd.
A week from
Oh, okay,
tomorrow.
that's
the 22nd. No Damnation reprint.
Which means it's in Modern Masters 2, which is totally coming. By the
Hold
way.
on.
Or,
I'm gonna quickly look.
it could be in cons.
Ooh, that would be spicy.
Maybe.
Which also leads us
But
to the
we have Inguruk's
speculation.
Wake and we have Extinguish All Hopes, and they're gonna give us a Damnation that seems
Well,
like
and
a
also
lot of
Silence the
Black
Believers
Rust.
too, right?
Maybe.
Believe-
Finger
but
on throat
That's-
means murder.
That's one. That's a one removal.
That also leaves us to the Modern Masters 2 speculation that there are 3 unreleased dates.
You guys
for the
did it.
Grand
You guys
Prix
did it
schedule.
wrong. Speculation.
Wild speculation, yeah. No, you're right, Blades. There's like these 3 dates that are all like 3 different GPs on 3 different continents, like that are all
On the same day.
unreleased format.
Unreleased format, unreleased location that probably...
I mean, Vegas was gigantic, so I think
Yeah.
it's coming back.
Are you guys ready for the list that's from the vault?
Sure, I'd love
Okay.
to hear it.
So there's going to be Virtue's Ruin for 3 mana, destroy all creatures. Upheaval, return all permanents to his hand. Terminus,
Upheaval's so good.
put all creatures on the bottom of those libraries. Smokestack, which is actually pretty sweet. Martial Coup, blows up things and makes tokens. Fracturing Gust, which destroys all artifacts and enchantments, and you gain 2 life for each one blown up that way. Fire Spout, Decree of Annihilation, Child of Alara, which that one was kind of interesting. I don't know why they put
It
that in
destroys
there,
things when it
but-
dies.
I know, but why would they put baby? Anyway, Burning of Zinyi, Cataclysm, Rolling Earthquake, Living Death, which is the one I'm really, really excited for. It's pretty awesome artwork. Armageddon and Wrath of God. So I'm actually
With featuring Heliod with his crazy spear, like
Mhm.
getting wrathy on people.
no Damnation. I'm pretty pissed about that. So
I think it just means that it's coming somewhere else soon.
winter is coming.
Also,
sorry,
maybe
back
the
up.
mono black EDH deck. That's like another potential product.
That's
Anyway.
I could see them doing
that's
that,
coming
actually.
up as well, yeah.
So we skipped this one. Modern is back on
Holy
the docket.
cow,
On the
I
Pro
am
Tour.
so
They
excited
listened.
about this. They did listen because they
There was
took it away.
that big outcry, but I was right, by the way. The reason they went to it wasn't a temporary thing, or it was a temporary thing for 2015, based on the draft structure of the new set, and it would have been coming back, I believe. Anyway, there was an outcry, no Modern, So they went ahead and added Modern back in.
Which is great because this next year where we had close to 0 Modern support, and it's actually speculated that a lot of this for it coming back is because of Modern Masters 2 coming back out. So another wild speculation.
Maybe they're just like, "Sykes, we got you guys."
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like, I'm normally not down with the wild speculation, but I think this one is pretty obvious.
Yeah. And what else? Oh, we do have some news that directly influences us here on the podcast.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it affects us, but it
kind of affects us.
It's cool news.
Well, it's in our region. Well, so in past episodes, we've had a good friend of the podcast, Jeremy Behunin, Judge Jeremy Behunin.
Yeah, you know him. Judge Jeremy, the one that's sponsoring one of our contests.
Yeah, doubtful that you like him because not a whole lot of people do, but... on the other hand, Ricky Hayashi has actually notified that he has been stepping down as regional coordinator for the Northwest region, which I believe consists of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Utah, and Montana.
Yeah, I think that
Wyoming
sounds
may
right.
be in there as well. I think it's roughly
Probably
there.
Wyoming
I'm probably
too,
off
yeah.
by like a state or two, but he is stepping down.
So if you're one of those states we forgot about, we apologize.
Yeah. But he is stepping down, and he is bringing Jeremy, our good friend, up into the regional coordinator position. And I think that this is actually a wonderful...
Instead of Judge Jeremy, he's now regional
coordinator,
coordinator.
level 3
RC.
Judge Jeremy.
Yeah.
That's a title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're really excited
Anyways,
for him.
we knew Judge Jeremy
When
like,
he
from
was
the way
still,
back.
you know.
No.
Yeah. No, it's really exciting, and he'll be great. And we're going to have him on again. He's promised to come back on, so there.
So yeah, chance to get to know the new regional coordinator, especially if you're in our region.
Yeah.
So.
And is that all? Did we cover the spoilers for the there's new spoilers that were introduced?
Spoilers that came out. We have spoilers for some of the new commander decks. Giralf was mentioned. So he's actually going to be a blue legendary creature.
Yeah. Okay. So you can have Zombie Wars.
Yep. They've also released a few, like 2 singles from cons.
Okay.
One common, I believe it's like 4 casting cost for a 2/3 guy with I think it's Raid. That's the new mechanic for the Mordor clan.
Oh,
and
cool.
Whenever he enters the battlefield, he deals 2 damage or some sort of damage to a creature, so long as you attacked with a guy this turn. So it seems like it's a lot like Bloodthirst, except you don't have to actually deal damage to your opponent. You just have to attack with a creature this turn. And so it tries to get you to play your
Goblin
creatures
Rattlemaster
post-combat.
just got some value.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes, he did.
I just make a token that attacks on his own.
Which he was already gaining in price since he's seen a lot of play in these Rabble Red decks. But absolutely.
So yeah, this guy is Mardu Heartpiercer. He's 3 in a red for a 2/3 with Raid. When Mardu Heartpiercer enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, Mardu Heartpiercer deals 2 damage to target creature player. So it must look like it must just be a did something attack turn, yes or no, and then do a trigger.
Yep.
There's also 1,000 Winds for a rare blue 4 5/6 elemental creature with flying. It has Morph for 5 blue. And then it says 1,000 Winds is turned face up. Return all other tapped creatures to their owner's hands. Holy bananas. Sorry, you're seeing it now live, guys. I've never seen this before till just this moment. It's Aether Spouts on a body. That's kind of neat.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I hate Morph. I'm not excited for Morph.
Yeah, and I don't have those on the screen, but you can definitely go and look them up. Mardu, Heartpiercer, 1,000
I just
Winds.
posted the
Did you?
link to it.
You
Oh
are
my
a good
gosh.
man. To the Mythic spoilers.
Let's move along.
Let's
Yes,
do
for
that.
sure.
There's one other thing.
Oh, yes.
And this is just a note. Last week we talked about lands, and I still am waiting to get the article from Rich to post on the website. He's promised to do it, and he's going to. But I'm going to put a link up. Our friend Bruce from Ottawa, I believe, writes for the bag of loot, thebagofloot.com, And he wrote an article about MTG lands, and I'm going to put a link to that in our show notes. And just a shout out to him. Anything else in our news then, guys?
I really don't think so.
All right, sounds good. Let's move along.
Draw step.
All right, and our click you. I had one, and I forgot what it was. Oh my gosh, I can't.
At the end of the draw step, we will be clicking you. So my card for the week is going to be.
Here it is.
Do we have the secret recording?
We do.
Okay.
We're everywhere
today. Awesome. When you get. Here it is.
Chord of Calling. Cost X colorless and 3 green for a rare instant. Ability text, Convoke. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, and put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle your library.
So I really like, Chord of Calling is a powerful spell, and I mean we've already seen its power in Modern. It's really neat to see in Standard, though. We don't really have a deck that seems to be really highlighting Chord of Calling and sort of the crazy broken stuff that it can do. And I have the unique pleasure of being able to pilot this crazy combo tokens, Chord of Calling, toolboxy, red, blue, green, which there's no red, blue, green deck in Standard right now. Bananas deck later in our Fight Club. And it won a daily event. Jerry Thompson highlighted over on SCG. And it's like this crazy brew. And at the moment I saw it, I just really, really wanted to play it. I mean, it has Young Pyromancer in it, 4 chords, all these really spicy one-ofs, and it's kind of just like a token burn deck that has all these cool backdoor,
toolbox, right?
Secret, toolbox interactions. Runs a one-of, what is it? The Master of Waves to pump your whole elemental team from your Young Pyromancer tokens.
Perforos, because
why not? Perforos, because YOLO. Anyways, the deck just seems so crazy. I'm a little bummed I had to fight against Burn later, but that's okay. I'll try to still show off all the cool things that it can do, or I'll just die and be really stoked that I'm playing a sweet deck. So calling just the ability to select cards out of your deck breaks one of the basic rules of Magic that you don't know what's coming off the top. You can't control the cards that are in your hand, and when you're allowed to break those rules, there's some very powerful, cool things that can happen. I also really like back in the days of Green Sun Zenith and stuff like that too. So, anyways, Chord of Calling, playing it later, hang out. It'll be fun.
You guys have anything to say about Chord of Calling?
Rich likes Chord of Calling.
I do. It's definitely a good card. It's gonna see play, and it's not quite as format defining as Thoughtseize is in this current format, but it's probably going to be close in my opinion.
Which makes me think of something, again, wild speculation here at the MTGYou. So 8th edition on is when they did the changes of borders, right?
Yeah.
And now it's known as Modern.
Right.
Well, with 2015,
you think they're going to make a new format?
I think that given time down the road, there will be another.
I wondered about that.
Perhaps 5 years down
wonder
the
they're
road.
going to call it.
Yeah,
they're going to call it
and
future.
Yeah, you got to wait for extended, right?
Yeah.
They
they're
going to call it Flying Car
because
League.
it was just double standard and it was unplayable. So I don't think they're going to give us another format like that. But even 5 years seems a little bit. But they want more.
X amount of time down the road. Maybe
they might have Modern, and then they might have a modern,
thoroughly
yes.
modern,
thoroughly modern,
modern squared,
the new Modern,
the nouveau modern.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move along.
James.
Oh boy, I don't think I even have this one.
We can do cool sound effects.
Well, I have this one. I just don't have the stupid card.
Yeah, you be in charge of the whoop, and I'll be in charge of the.
I have this part. I apologize. I am
Goblin
unprepared.
Kaboomist. Costs 1 colorless and 1 red for a 1/2 rare creature, Goblin Warrior. Ability text. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a colorless artifact token named Landmine on the battlefield with pay 1 red, sacrifice this artifact. This artifact deals 2 damage to target attacking creature without flying. Then flip a coin. If you lose the flip, Goblin Kaboomist deals 2 damage to himself.
First of all, that's a lot of text, so I apologize for that. But I love this card, guys. I know I said this before, but I just think this card is so cool.
Would you say he's the bomb?
He's the boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
I went
Hopefully, it
there,
just
guys.
doesn't blow up. In
Oh
your
my
face.
gosh! Wait, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. No, he buries things in the ground, so he's the bomb diggity.
So here's the thing, guys. I've been trying to figure out ways to break him. Maybe using.
Maybe you could use some bombs.
Oh my gosh.
Really? No.
Why do I even
No,
try?
because I'm trying to find to break him. Like
I know.
you could use Goblin Grenade. Anyway, I think he's cute.
He is no, but think if you can
Not
just
for long.
if you can use something like how about the Paragons?
Right.
Or
Just to
Hall of
protect him.
Triumph.
Hall of Triumph.
You use something to
Goblin Chieftain.
There's a lot of things that you could use to protect them. So you get a few of them out there, just get a lot of artifacts going. You know, use some angry scissors, use some shrapnel blasts. You know, so I'm trying to think of a deck. I'm going to build a deck using shrapnel blasts, angry scissors, goblin kaboomas, and things to protect the goblins, and see what happens.
I can dig it.
Yeah, I mean this is
You should brew it and we should play it.
yeah.
You should play it on MTG.
I there's a
Fight
guy I was talking to at our local shop who top 8'd our games day with
I saw.
yeah, just ridiculous blue red like.
And blue red looks really good in this set.
Yeah, it looks
it
really
really
cool.
does. So
I'm excited.
anyway, that's what I want to do.
Angry scissors. TJ. Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Next we have Rich.
Hushwing Griff costs 2 colorless and 1 white for a 2/1 rare creature, Hippogriff. Ability text, flash, flying. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger.
So I picked this card because I pulled a foil one in my prize packs from Draft on Friday.
Seems like a good
and
reason.
Seems like a pretty good reason, right? Actually, no. Like I think he's actually really sweet. I hate him because I'm a pod player, but the idea of like having a torpor orb on a flash body seems really cool. He kind of reminds me. He's a little reminiscent of like a even Mind Sensor a little bit, right? Just same power and toughness, flying, 3 mana. I could definitely see him maybe seeing some play in like green white hate bears, maybe potentially.
Yeah, maybe.
He stops Snapcaster Mages, Restoration Angels, stops just a lot of different into the battlefield abilities, obviously. But I don't know. I like this card. I think he's pretty powerful for what the effect that he does, and I think that there's potential for him to see play here soon. It might take a while for maybe one of the deck lists playing him to before we start seeing some steam. But I'm excited.
He's awesome. I think we yeah. That's
He's got the power.
That's my
Wow.
professional.
Your professional guys.
That's my professional opinion.
Unanimously is like, yeah.
Yeah, he's like sometimes a sideboard option. I don't think he's gonna make too much splashes though.
Think about it, like
I think in modern he's got a
I think
potential,
it-
a lot
only
of
in modern,
implications.
though.
or in Legacy that nobody plays.
That nobody
Yeah,
plays.
he's gonna show up for like a week and then he's gonna be
No, because
out.
he stops. Wow. Stoneforge Mystic from going and finding you equipments. Stop Snapcaster Mages.
Yeah, at 3 mana where you want to Stoneforge on turn 2.
Just saying, man.
The snark level.
Yeah,
If you play at turn 1, if you're on the play, man, you can get there.
Sometimes you do play a late Stoneforge Mystic. You got me there, but like
Dude, if you exile
at that
Simeon
point-
Spirit Guide from your hand, you can cast it
You
early.
catch him early, yeah.
You can do it turn 1.
in what deck wants both this and a Simeon Spirit Guide?
Dude, Red, White, Burn.
I love
Build
Duh.
it. Build it.
Build it and they will come.
And of course, it also
I don't know.
stops
I
Spirit
think
Twin,
he's
which
really
is good.
cool. Stops a lot of stuff. EDH possibly too. Like if you're playing Torpor Orb and EDH, he's just another body.
EDH seems
you can,
actually
you can
better.
abuse bodies so much easier and ways of finding them and getting them than you can like just artifacts or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
This is the kind of banter that we look for. So
That's true.
that's what we were hoping for. We were hoping for a little something spicy. So good. And finally, Blades with this card. Quicken. Costs 1 blue for a rare instant. The next sorcery card you cast this turn can be cast as though it had flash. Draw a card. Zoop.
All right, so this week I chose this card not because it's flashy, not because it's actually really good, but because I had some blowouts comboing with this card this past weekend. I was not able to play in a game day event. However, I was able to play in a Grand Prix trial. In this trial, in the second round of the top 8 was I got paired up against the blue-white mirror match where I was a little bit of an Esper build, and he had a Elixir of Immortality on the battlefield with pretty much nothing else. I went to ultimate my Jace, and I wanted his Elixir of Immortality. So I wanted to take as much advantage of that, so I ultimated Jace, maintained priority, quicken planar cleansing. So I either kill his cleansing and wipe everything, or he shuffles it into his library, and I get to then search it out with Jace.
Oh wow!
So
way to stack the
right
triggers.
there, yeah. So at that point, it was like I sort of had him to it, and I knew that he was all out of counter. I had that game anyway. He's like, in response, I'll scoop, which is probably more than likely the right thing because it's from then on it's going to be a grindy game anyway, but it's so much highly in my favor because even with Elixir of Immortality, it shuffles back into my library whenever I resolve it, even though it's his card, which is quite awkward.
So you're just saying you're quick to react?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Quicken.
Yes.
Quicken to react.
Quicken to react.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was
quicken.
There was multiple instances where I could use Quicken in that, and I played a Esper list, and I felt like Quicken was quite relevant with Thoughtseize. Like at the end of their draw step, Quicken Thoughtseize.
That's so grody.
So yeah, it had a little bit extra flavor there. I was originally hoping to play Jeskai control, but
what is Jeskai? What is this?
That's America.
Jeskai. We're gonna start calling it that. From now on.
Are we leading the charge?
We are.
This is my nightmare.
For now, we are not.
This is me. I do not like America control as a thing.
From now on, we're calling it Jeskai.
Blue, white,
Can we just call it the French Connection?
Or Britain,
New Zealand?
Or
only if it comes with a croissant
croissant
or toast.
No, because those decks would lose all the time anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
If it was a croissant.
No, I got it. But no, I
am
am.
the match
I am
be
all
too
for
flaky?
it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Layers.
I just felt like that match I was able to pull out with Quicken.
That joke kind of got all knotted up.
Alrighty, sorry, we can move on.
We're making croissant jokes. Sorry.
We've stooped to the level of croissant jokes. Okay.
We're so flaky.
All right.
He just made that joke.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear
You guys
it.
missed it.
All right. So
me and Damon are being witty.
So moving along, and we are skipping our Click You this week because I don't remember what it is.
I remembered what it was.
Oh, do you? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So wait, did we already do the future project?
Yep.
No.
Yes.
Okay,
we did
just
that last
kidding.
week.
We're gonna move right along.
Moving along.
Oh, can we talk about Lady Planeswalkers?
No, we're doing that next week. Should we do it as an advance warning?
Just keep rolling. I don't know. We could do it in
Main
advance.
phase.
You just wait until I say something. You're like,
It takes me a while to click the
cue it?
button.
Yeah,
I totally believe that.
I can do that again.
that's fine. We can move on. So today we're gonna be talking.
Combat phase.
Okay, here goes the main phase again.
Main phase.
All right, so today we're talking about building a battle box with Dr. Seuss and MC Hammer.
Yeah.
I don't know what that meant. So anyway,
That's
no,
fine.
go ahead.
It sounds flavorful.
Proxen.
So here's the deal. A little while ago, a guy with SEG called by the name of Brian DeMars sort of put out this format called Danger Room. And it didn't. I mean, people I'm sure read the article, and they were exposed to it, and so some people started playing this, and the format started growing a little bit more and a little bit more. And then Ben Stark eventually got a hold of it, and they changed a couple very, very minor rules and sort of redubbed it as Battle Box, which is really neat. And so, anyways, Ben Stark has gone on record as saying that it's one of the most interesting, skill-intensive, sort of pure, it feels like Magic is supposed to feel each game you play it, styles to play the game. So, why would somebody compliment this format so much? Well, the big thing, it's kind of has two components. The power level of all the cards is very flat. Right now in Standard, we live in a world where there's these cards that are just bad players can win with really, really good cards, and sometimes that is a feel bad moment, right? you're just like, oh, Sphinx's Revelation off the top. I was dead next turn, but now I'm like way back in the game. Or like turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Pack Rat. Now you're dead. Like there are so many different cards that are just like very, very game warping, right? Triplicate Spirits right now in Limited is also like kind of game warping, especially if you get them in multiples. So anyways, the idea is we went and made a very, very flat power level. And then also people have, perfect mana. So your mana actually goes in a second pile, and you get to choose what color you want as you go, and it's a 5-color format. So that's really neat too. The other reason that it's really great is like, say I go over and hang out with my long-lost friend Rich, and I'm like, hey, Rich, let's play some Magic. I have Standard and EDH. And he's like, oh, man, all I got is like Modern and a casual 60 card.
I had my Standard deck from 5 years ago.
Right, my cool Standard deck from 5 years ago.
That's still Standard, right?
Got tokens.
Yeah. And I'm like, how do we play? I mean, like, you can play together, but it's a little bit awkward, you know? And with BattleBox, it's meant for 2 players at least. Really like 2 to 4 players, and you just show up. You both have equally balanced decks, and you can just play Magic and have a fun time. So, for all of those reasons, it's really, really cool. So, what is BattleBox? Man, I'm going fast. Do you guys have anything to jump in on? I feel like
I want to hear this.
So
this is good.
Flat level, power level. Perfect mana, because you have 5 basics and 5 guild gates.
Right, so like what would it actually be like to play Magic where you don't have crazy over-the-top powerful cards and nobody ever gets mana screwed or mana flooded? Like, these feel like games that I always want to play of Magic.
It just rewards you for being a better Magic player, right? Even though you can still die to variants.
Yeah, I mean, you're still drawing a new card.
They try to minimize it as much as possible.
So
right?
you say you have two stacks?
Yeah, so you have basically like your spell deck. And then you have a secondary set of land cards. So we'll go over the rules really fast. Yeah, I have it on me.
We could do a quick...
So how to actually play. So you have your land pile. Initially when the thing was created, they put the lands in what they called the danger zone, which I'm sure they had, like, anytime they reference it, they would play that song.
Into the
danger zone.
Those are aviators, Maverick.
And Goose. Think of it like the command zone, right? It's like an exiled zone where you can play things from. These lands are made up of 5 different guild gates that combined can make 2 of each of the colors. So, like, you could do that with the 5 allied colors, 5 enemy colors, the 5 2-color combos that were in Return to Ravnica, the 5 2-color combinations that were in Gatecrash. Like, there's lots of ways to mix and match it, but so long as you can make, like, 2 white, 2 black, 2 red, all that jazz. That's perfect. And then you also get 5 basic lands, 1 of each. So you can make a total of 3 of any land when you've played all 10 of your lands. You play 1 land per turn, just like normal, but it's from the land pile. You draw 1 spell off the top of the spell deck.
You start with 4 cards, not 7.
You start with 4 cards instead of 7, although originally when the game was made by the Danger Room stuff, they started with 6 cards in hand, and they had a maximum hand size of 9. But, like... That's different than real Magic, I guess. Like, I like the idea of maximum cards or hand size of 7. I feel like I'm not on decision overload. It's actually kind of daunting to look at 9 cards in your hand and try to figure out like what the right play is when you can only play like 1 per turn or whatever. And then you have 20 life. So that's the basic setup. So land pile, spell pile, 20 life, and all the cards in the spell deck are shuffled together and then split between the 2 players. So you're each just playing with like just a giant pile. I've heard of a format similar to this called Wizard's Tower before. Anyways, so what sorts of things would go in your spell deck? Well, you want really, really balanced cards. When you think about a card like Grey Ogre, it's for 2 in red, you have a 2/2 vanilla creature. And like that's fine. That's a little bit worse than what we usually play today by today's standards. But when you compare it to another 3-drop like Troll Ascetic, it's green 1 for a 3/2 with hexproof, and it has regeneration. Now, you could put Grey Ogres in your deck, or you could put Troll Ascetics in your deck. But if you put both of those cards in your deck at the same time, like I might have Troll Ascetic, and you might draw Grey Ogre, and if those are each of our 3-drops, like mine is way better than yours. So you have to decide if you want the kinds of cards that you're playing to be Grey Ogres style cards, like a lower power level, and my battle box is a lower power level, or if you want sort of more of a high power level, like high-end cube style of build. So anyway, stick with the power level. Choose a power level, stick to it. Also, it's great to make card inclusions that make you think about your mana and how you want to play them. A great example of this is Leatherback Bailoff. For green, you get a vanilla 4/5.
Also like Woolly Thoktar, right? Red, white, green for a 5/4 guy.
Right.
He's on the different end of things where he's not as mana intensive. You can still get like a bunch of your guild gates out and just
right. But the idea
have
is
it work
it's
out.
making you being conscious of
what
like,
lands you're playing and what you're cutting yourself off from later
but
in the game.
They're both on two completely different aspects. Yes.
And so you have to decide, like, if my opponent is going, like, you know, maybe some cool 1-drop, like, cantrip into a 2-drop into a 3-drop, and all I'm doing is going guild gate, land, make a Baloth, like, is that better, especially if they have removal? I don't know if it is or not. So, you know, it really rewards you for just making conscious decisions at every point in the game as you're going through the game, which I really enjoy. There's another style of card, you know, another great thing is to just maybe include cycles of cards. That are all doing like classic things, like for your spells especially, do like the classic things those colors want to do. For example, like white rewards you for playing white weenie style strategies, and they frequently like, pump your whole team. So like for 1 and a white, you can have Glorious Charge that gives all your creatures +1/+1 till the end of turn. Blue has conditional counter spells frequently. So like for 1 and a blue, you have Negate, counter target non-creature spell. That's pretty good. Black's really good at killing things, so you have Doomblade for 1 and a black, destroy target of non-black creature. Red likes to do direct damage and kill things, so you have like Lightning Strike for 1 and a red that deals 3 damage to a creature or player. And green likes to make its big creatures bigger, so for 1 and a green, you could have like target creature gets +4/+4 until the end of turn with Titanic Growth. These kinds of cycles really help tie the whole set together, and you kind of just imagine that you're almost creating like your own Magic set. Mm-hmm. And just sort of putting these cards together and hoping that things come out pretty well balanced. Also, like card advantage, of course, you know, that's like a higher level play concept is card advantage. So spells like Blightning can be very powerful, and timing those at the correct time. You know, like, sure, it might seem really cool to like just as soon as you get to 3 mana to be able to cast it for 1 black and a red, deal 3 damage, and the opponent discards 2 cards. But if they're stuck with you know 5 cards in their hand, they have a lot of choices. But if they're saving their last 2 cards in their hand, like that's probably the right time to Blightning, you know, and asking you to make those kinds of choices. You know, Phyrexian Rager for 2 and a black is a 2/2 creature. You lose a life and draw a card. Like that's basically like, you know, you're even Steven on cards, but you get a body out of the deal. Divination, just straight up card advantage, but like when is the right time to play it is a big question. For 2 and a blue, draw 2 cards. So like these types of cards are really, really cool to have in the deck, again, because they're all skill testing, and they also are all relatively flat power level, which is really nice. Cycling is another thing that seems huge in this, because sometimes you'll have like destroy target enchantment, and that just ends up being stuck in your hand forever. But if that card also can cycle, that's really, really cool. Another good example of this is like sometimes fog effects can be a total blowout, but most of the time they're not. So Angel Song is a kind of a spicy one. For 1 and a white, you can prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn, or you can cycle it away for 2. So cycling, like you just draw a card.
Right. So you're going way fast.
I'm sorry.
You're cool.
I'm just getting excited.
Well, if he's gone too fast, tell him, you know, slow him down, ask him questions.
Yeah, jump in. Talk about things that are interesting or experiences.
So, Jared, you went over the Bant Sojourners.
I haven't gone over the Bant Sojourners.
Okay,
That's
so
really
one
cool.
thing I realized like when I was playing it was there was effects like, for instance, like Bant Sojourners, which it costs one colorless, 1 green, 1 white, 1 blue for a 2/4 guy, right? And when he dies, you get to put in a 1/1 white soldier to creature token on the play. Or when you cycle him, you also be able to get the counter, right? The 1/1 token. So things like this were able to kind of help you, like early in the game, if you need to cycle it and draw into more stuff, it helped you, right? Or later in the game, like when you actually were able to cast it, it was beneficial late game too. So these cards are able to go like late or early game are really, really beneficial in this deck because of the power level that they are at, and they're actually pretty fair.
The cards
absolutely.
that gives you more options to play around them. Like you can do this or you can do this. One of these is going to give you something different at different points of the game, and which one is good at different points.
It'd be like Augur Spree.
Yeah, like Augur Spree is actually one of those like cards that like it
actually,
seems
that's the card
it
I should
seems
totally
really, really good,
yeah,
right?
Flexible in multiple applications.
Because it could help you do something you want to do, or it could
kill a guy.
It could kill a guy. So it could be used for removal or for pumping. So
like +4, -4,
exactly.
like kill something or pump on your
I
guys.
should throw that one up.
There's also
I thought of that one.
Is it?
Yeah, that's actually a really, really good
Is it
inclusion.
Rights of Yavimaya.
Augur.
It's the green, black, and colorless. It gives one guy
can't
plus
remember how to
2/+2
spell it.
and another guy -2/-2.
I'm so horrible.
I think it's AGUR.
AGUR.
AUGURY.
AUG?
Augury. Anyway.
Anyway.
So, like, suppose if I say that, like, actually the charms are pretty balanced
it's right
in this,
there.
it seems like, to an
Yes.
extent.
Most of the charms are really good.
Bordo's charm is probably one of the more
Kind of blowout potential.
ones because of the
Oh, yes.
indestructible. But
Oh,
other than
yes.
that, though, like, still the Legend charm is really powerful because it's also a removal spell, right? Like,
Yep.
And you know,
Yep.
Azorius charm is really good too because you can make them, you know, top
Put
a
stuff on
guy
top.
or tuck
Yeah.
a guy. You know, it seems really, really good. So. You can actually really build this mostly out of commons and uncommons.
Yeah, and that's actually the other sort of cool thing about the format is I think as Magic players we end up with so many commons and uncommons that we just end up in a giant pile somewhere in our house, and hopefully it's not too public and it's not too embarrassing when people find it. You know,
There's the closet of just Magic stuff, and you can tell
Yeah.
because there's Magic cards coming out from underneath it.
yeah, they leak out from the door and clog up your vacuum cleaner when you walk by
I
it.
think we're joking. I've seen them.
And that's actually really cool because when I built my battle box, I actually did it largely from just cards that I already owned. I didn't have to invest a lot of my own money to buy extra cards for this. Like I bought a couple of cool cycles of cards, but I haven't had to like go very deep on just buying cards. And again, it's relatively low power level and very, very. Like,
So did you talk about how many cards you put in it?
not yet. I put 200 in my battle box, which. Gives each player approximately 100 card deck. So you have the same kind of variance that you'd expect out of an EDH game, in that no two games hopefully play out very similarly.
Let's get Forge Stoker twice, like this guy.
Right.
So we haven't really we haven't covered that yet. That's coming up, right? How to actually play.
Yeah, I think I was going to sort of wrap on the cards that you include. And honestly, it's funny. 200 cards sounds like a lot, but again, for people who play EDH, they know that your 100 card slots run
still not
out
enough.
very quickly.
And I could see making multiple battle boxes.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, not just one. It's like, should I do the one that's skewed to this type of
Like
a
the
play,
swingy
or do
combo
I,
and
or
stuff,
you could
yeah.
build one just based on different types of.
I know one thing, like when Damon first built it, I was kind of wondering, like, oh, you could totally make like more of a powered type
Right.
version of this, right, with like Tarmogoyfs and stuff like that. And he actually pointed out like some of the exact deck lists that the SCG team had that built this were playing like thought seasons and stuff like that. And I actually realized that it's not that powerful of a card in this style format, right?
Because everything's so flat power
Because
level,
everything's
right?
so flat. Yeah, basically you're losing 2 life to just make them discard one card that you would like. You know, it seems pretty okay.
Yeah.
Lots of cantripping effects too. Things that allow you to draw cards help a lot.
I have that actually as one of the thingies here. I think.
Oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead then.
Oh no, actually you're not. Never mind.
But
yeah, cantrips are great.
you could also do like just all commons or commons and uncommons,
Right.
or you can do rares, or do like a whole block. Or whatever,
Well, let's see.
right?
200 cards would fit inside.
Oh yeah, just a fat pack box.
A fat
perfectly.
pack, and so it
Even
stores
sleeves.
really easily, and it's just something you could take with you easily so if you want to go play with somebody someplace, you just grab the box, and they don't even have to bring anything with them. Just
Well, how many times do you sit down with your friends, you're like, hey, let's play Magic, and they're like, I'm not really feeling like playing Modern or Standard today.
Right.
Right.
Just
People are
kinda,
just like, I don't know.
And
if you like
never
plop
happened
the
to me.
100 card deck
you
in front
may-
of them, and
right.
let's fight. Rock'em Sock'em Robot style, you know.
I almost used that picture in the art, but I was afraid since it's a copyrighted, I didn't
Copyrighted.
want to cause any problems with copyrighted
It's
things.
okay. That image is now in every one of our listeners' heads.
Boom! You know, with the robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one of these types of mechanics that has that sort of modal appeal to it is kicker and multi-kicker. A great card actually is Bloodhusk Ritualist. For 2 and a black, you get a 2/2 body with multi-kicker of black. Now, here's the thing about your deck, is you're not playing mono black. You can only make 3 black mana, which means you can only multi-kick it twice. So it's built in with a cap. And just as for each time it's kicked, they have to discard a card. And so, again, if it gets too late in the game and you are left empty-handed, like, it's not going to be that powerful. And so, like, this card actually asks you a lot of questions as far as when is the best time to play it, when is the best time to play your lands. If you haven't been playing the right guild gates at the right times and you top deck this, like, maybe you're not going to be able to get there very fast. So I think that, this is one of the cards that actually I discovered today as I was, researching stuff for the battle box, and I don't think it's in my battle box, and this is one of the next, this is on my short list to find a slot for this card because it just is really cool.
There's also Sentinel Wood Readers, right?
Yeah.
It was seen in Modern Masters too, and printed in that time frame as well, but it costs 2 colorless and a green for a 1/4 guy, which seems kind of meh.
Yeah, it's just very average
very
on the
power,
curve.
just very, very regular
it's a
body,
turtle,
right?
Yeah. In green, it's actually not the greatest.
Right, but it's typical like blue or white, right? But the thing is though, you can also kick it and pay 2 colorless and another green, and then when it enters the battlefield, when you kicked it, you draw 2 cards. So now for 6 mana, you're getting a 1/4 body, which is meh,
with divination
drawing
attached.
drawing 2 cards. Seems really, really powerful.
Which actually makes him like a subpar Mold Drifter, which is actually super relevant.
Right. And he's from
Mold
Time
Drifter
Shifted,
is so awesome.
so that makes
he
sense.
was Time Shifted.
Yeah.
Another class of cards I think is really important to put into the deck is Wrath type effects. Just your Wrath of God. And also some conditional Wraths are also ask some really interesting questions. Ratchet Bomb is a card that I've been really pleased with. As far as playing around your own Ratchet Bomb, or somebody walking into a bad Ratchet Bomb situation where they've played a lot of 2-drops or something. But knowing that there's Wraths in the deck means that hopefully neither player will try to overextend or extend, and if the Wrath never gets drawn, then they can win the game. That's yet again another layer of questions.
Or if
that
they
you can
draw
ask yourself.
into the only few Wrath spells, then they know nobody else is drawing these, so it's good for me just to slam down as hard.
And my Wraths are 1 in every 25 cards approximately. I have about 8 Wraths in the deck.
Oh, well, never mind. That's not going to happen.
So, I mean, you would hope to find at least 1 Wrath per game is the approximate, because these games get kind of grindy and long.
So Wampus in the chat room made a comment. He said,
Yeah,
I would always be concerned about the person plopping the huge pile of cards in front of me. I mean, they put it together, right? So they know what is there. And assuming I'm playing the battle box for the first time, I don't have any idea. It just seems like I'd rather play a deck I made.
So the funny thing is, actually, that's exactly what Damon did to me. He's like, hey, let's play battle box. I'm like, what's battle box? And he explained it to me. I'm like, that sounds terrible. Why would I ever want to play that? That sounds boring. And he's like, well, just try it. And so he plopped the cards down in front of me and Dante, and we split it. And he's like, "Okay, here's your lands. You just get to play 1 per turn. Instead of drawing them, you just put them on the side, in the side deck kind of thing, and go. Here's your 4 cards. Cool. All right. So I got cards and lands, and I play them, and I do things, and this is just magic.
It's magic.
Just really simple, very base.
It feels like really rewarding games of sealed deck, right?
Yeah.
Or draft.
It was actually surprisingly way fun. By the end of the night, I was like, oh, I love Battle Box. This is awesome. We should do this more often. And we haven't done it since.
And again, because the power level of the cards, hopefully when you're designing this, if you've done it well, the power level of your cards are going to be very flat. And so whether you've seen these cards before or not, that you're not trying to build in these sort of intrinsic, just ways that the cards play off of each other. I know I'm blocking on the word. You're not making combos, right? You're just playing good old fashioned.
It's plain magic. It's
doing combat math correctly, doing tricks at the right time.
Right.
Timing your counter spells.
And it's not like there's a ton of broken cards in here. They're all pretty, like you said, they're all pretty flat level cards. So,
well, perfect example, for instance, Damon put in Disciple of Bolus.
Yeah, which is one of the cards I have in there.
Which is 3 colorless and a black for a 2/1 guy that when it comes into play, you sacrifice another creature and you gain X life and draw X cards where X is its power.
Right.
Looking at it, Disciple of Bolus is a pretty basic powered creature, right?
4 for a 2/1 doesn't sound like it's all that great,
doesn't
right?
sound that great, right? It draws you lots of cards, gains you life. It's sweet. In this format, in Battle Box, it is a bomb. It literally just beats the crap out of you, because you're able to just draw in all those cards.
I took it out of the Battle Box. It was too good. Another card that I thought was just I was literally just looking for hole fillers. I'm like, my red needs just a random dragon, Forge Stoker Dragon. So for red 4, you get a 5/4 flyer. And then for 1 in a red, Forge Stoker Dragon deals 1 damage to target creature, and that creature can't block this turn. Plays only when your dragon is attacking. So this card is just built in 2 for 1, 3 for 1, 4 for 1 over and over and over again.
Or just for sure 5 damage.
Every time Forge Stoker Dragon landed, the game was over almost right after, unless somebody just randomly top decked the Doomblade.
But
even if you Doombladed, you were so far behind from your guys being pinged to death, because you can target the same guy several times. So for 6 mana, you can take out something with 3 toughness. And there's like a high volume of like 2 and 3 drops that are like right in that range. And so again, Forge Stroker Dragon looks terrible. Never seen standard play. Maybe if somebody has a dragon themed EDH deck, they'll include it.
I mean, even his Mohawk is terrible. Let's face it. No, just kidding.
This is like not a great Magic card. And again, it's another example of something that is just way too good that we took out. The other card that I think is just hilarious because I thought it was a bad card is Brigid, Hero of Kinsbale. For white 2, it's a 2/3 legendary Kithkin Archer creature. It has first strike, and then you can tap it, and Hero of Kinsbale deals 2 damage to each attacking or blocking creature the target player's controls. I didn't read the each, and so my opponent plays a Brigid, and like they were just wiping my board over and over and over again, and I couldn't get ahead until I killed the Brigid.
Why do Kithkins have such weird faces?
Because they're supposed to be like hobbits.
Yeah, but
and with whiter features, maybe.
I think the artwork's cutesy.
Oh, it is cutesy, but they're also sort of scrunchy faces. They look like they all look like they've been run over. I'm sorry, like deformed. I don't know.
Sort of like this way.
Is that what it is? This way? Yeah.
Like they're just little, people things.
It's just their thing. It's like
it's
dwarves
cute.
in their beards.
All right. Sorry for the rabbit hole there. I was just asking about.
They have had a tendency to evolve.
You mean your hobbit hole?
Yes. Yeah.
So, anyways, that's like that. This is like a small example. And again, if you have like a high-powered queue
brownies.
or a high-powered
brownies
battle box with maybe like double the number of wraths or something like that, or like a lot of removal.
The humanoid brownies.
Oh, the humanoid brownies.
What's funny?
I'm interrupting you.
Keep going.
I thought I sensed a pause, and I just don't want it to go on too long. Anyways, but yeah, I guess if like these are examples of cards that seem bad that are just too good if you have a medium to low powered.
Mm-hmm. Like even Snapcaster Mage is actually pretty on power level with this, right?
Yeah, which is kind of strange. I did put. I'm actually like one of the cards that's kind of on the chopping block potentially is Unburial Rights because it's card advantage and it's card advantage again. Like the flashback.
That seems bad.
The card might actually just be too good. I might have to just go
like
with
Dread Return would be fine because Dread Return you have to sacrifice creatures to get it back out.
Yeah.
So that seems more power.
Or even like the Rescue from Underworld. Like any of these cards might be fine, but like I love that card, but like it's one of the ones that might be on the chopping block right now, which makes me sad. So, anyways, again, 200 cards. Throw it together. In our links, we'll go ahead and post. I actually updated my battle box. It's battle box 1.1. Added a few new cards. Anyways, we will, just like we do for our deck list for Fight Club, it's in the same kind of a format, so you can click on each one of the cards and see what it pops up as.
Yeah, although it's not really formatted very well for...
200 cards is a lot. I mean, it's really hard to find a good format.
I need to come up with a better system for displaying big lists like that.
Yeah, it's...
Do you have the link for it? You want me to find it?
Sure. It's in my decks. Anyways. But yeah, man. Anyways, that's what it is. That's BattleBox. It's even. It's fair. May the best Magic player win. I mean, sure, you're top decking sometimes, and sometimes the top decks get you there. But by and large, it's really just very skill testing. And this is not the one you want. BattleBox 1.1.
Oh, sorry.
Because that includes 2 copies of every card because it randomly.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because of somebody's programming.
Anyways, we will go ahead and list this battle box here in just a second. But for you guys in podcast land, I think, do you guys have anything else to say about the battle box?
So I just want you to reiterate how you do this. So you don't really draft them.
Yeah, go explain over like how you play it, what the thing, because like we kind of brushed real.
Yeah,
we did kind of go over that fast. I missed it. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. But
so one more time, you have your spell deck that you basically just break in half.
Okay, so you shuffle it really well, as well as you can.
200 cards or whatever. Shuffle the whole thing up. Break that in half. It doesn't have to be right in half. You just kind of, those piles look even.
So like 90 and 110.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
That's fine.
Sure.
And actually, I just read today that this makes a really good format for Two-Headed Giant. If you're a big Two-Headed Giant fan and you can never decide what kind of decks to use. But anyway, so you just sit down, break it in half. Each person gets a stack of land cards. I actually, just for my own ease, like I'm always the worst at forgetting to like shuffle my cube lands back into my cube again when I'm done. And so I actually sleeved up my little land packs in other colored sleeves than the rest of the battle box. And so I actually, like the examples I gave earlier of like the friendly colors, the enemy colors, the Return to Ravnica block, and the Gate Crash block sets of lands. Like, I actually have all 4 of those sets. So again, each time you get a different land pack, like, the lands even play out slightly different. So again, to me, like, having the high variety but still have it be a flat power level, like, all that's very rewarding.
And those are all separated into different color sleeves as well.
Exactly, yeah. So it makes it easy to just hand somebody a pack of lands.
Here's your lands.
Here's your lands. Here's your spells.
Here's your spells. Draw 4 cards off the top.
Okay.
Go.
Do they look
Fight.
reasonable? Do you have, like, at least, not mono 5 drops? I imagine you probably resolve mulligans the same way you do for, like, EDH, just Paris.
Or just shuffle up and draw 4 again.
Or just shuffle up and draw 4 again, yeah. Although, honestly,
So it's also a fast start. It's also, you can get playing fast. It's not like
exactly.
It's not like draft where it takes a while, a lot of setup.
It's very reminiscent of, like, Rock'em Sock'em Robots. You just go.
You sit down
Grab
and
stuff,
start battling.
fight.
That's really fun.
So
And you can just build it, and if you don't like it, you tear it apart and say, okay, what part of this didn't I like?
Well,
Yeah, and
just
that's
keep
actually a
tweaking
thing,
it.
too. Where, like, as soon as somebody plays a card and you notice, like, oh my gosh, the game just, like, this card
warped the
ended
game
the game
too
and the
much.
whole game became about this card, that's the tip to take it out. And so
Right.
that's kind of the refining process. We've came across several cards that were like that.
also, I know for a lot of people who build cubes, they'll actually, like, let's say they're more of a blue player, they'll actually put a lot more powerful cards that are blue in, say, like, green or red. And so, like, also having other people there that kind of help you stay honest with your
Picks.
Your picks is kind of helpful too. Because there were some things like I know, it's like Dante was like, "Oh, this would be really, 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 really good," and me and you were both like, "No, dude,
It's
because
way
of this,
too
this,
good."
this. Like, you're on burial rates." Like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, it's amazing," and then everybody's like, "No, that's too good because." Coming from the graveyard player, like, that's too powerful. But from, what I mean, just different perspectives helps you kind of build the deck so that it's, base power level on all fields rather than just, 3 and the 1 color is overly powered.
The one thing I guess also, though, that's nice with...
This might be the list. This one, the Damon's Battle Box. Do you have some 2-ofs or none?
No, 0 2-ofs.
Okay, so this, yeah. I don't see the new list. We'll have to, maybe it needs to be exported.
Maybe I didn't hit export.
Yeah, okay.
My
anyway.
bad, guys. We'll get it up there, though.
Yeah.
So anyways, I lost myself. I really apologize.
I'm sorry.
It's so much fun. Just build it and try it.
Yeah.
And everybody's been playing
Slightly
Magic
different.
for a
I
while,
imagine-
even a year. Has tons and tons and tons of cards, I'm sure, already.
Yeah,
Just
you
from
can just put it together.
buying packs
really
and
just
stuff.
I
Yeah.
imagine it also helps you learn a little bit about power levels and if you're interested in designing for Magic, I can see how this actually probably would help with that too.
It definitely helps you with playing tighter Magic. Just your way of, like, playing, knowing when to do stuff, when not to do stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
it makes
'cause
you a
if-
better Magic player.
If
as
you
a
have
whole.
Grizzly Bear and I have, Traveling Philosopher, which is a 2/2 and white, like, how do I leverage my card over your card
without spending too many cards?
Yeah, when we appear to be in the same place, or is it better to
Do you
just
have
trade?
do you have your battle box here?
I do have it here. Yeah.
Where is it?
It's in my backpack.
Where's your backpack?
Behind you.
I was just going to have you guys, maybe you and Blades, just like play for 5 minutes here.
Okay.
That
You guys,
works.
those of you in chat want to see, this is obviously probably not going to be podcast land.
Yeah. No, for sure not.
Verbal Wanderer also
It's
said...
behind the curtain. Sorry, by your little pull-out desk. It's the black box in my backpack underneath a couple of deck boxes.
Did you read what Verbal Wanderer said?
Don't pay attention to the Jobin behind the curtain.
That's really funny.
Can I have a real heart? Can I have a
You
heart?
need a real heart, sir.
Here, just split it up. Let's see the first few turns of it.
So, for those of you at home...
That's pretty good.
So, for instance, like, this is Damon's, like, thinking of boards. Thinking of, or, like, stuff he just took out because it's too good kind of dealio. Here's your different land packs, right? So, we got green, the land pack, blue is the land pack, silver and red. It's just doesn't matter what the packs are. And then here's the, I think this is way more than 200 homes.
No,
I'm
it looks
sure.
like 200. I mean, sleeved, you know.
It's about the rough size of an EDH deck, so.
Yeah.
So literally, and the cool thing is, you just don't have to shuffle as much either because...
True.
By far.
So this is a section I'll probably cut out at the end of off of the audio podcast because it's not really good audio. But
well, let's face it, we don't ever have any good audio.
yeah, but we appreciate people for subscribing and listening to us make up words.
You saw Tree Redemption in this?
Yeah.
This is terribly good.
Are you checking your email over there, Damon?
I don't know what the heck he's doing. Damon, you need to take Tree of Redemption out. We talked about this. Okay, again, another card that shouldn't be in here because it's too freaking good.
What's it called? Tree of
Redemption. It's a 0/13 wall.
I'll put it up
for 4 mana, and you can tap it and exchange your life total with its toughness. And so, like, if you have any amount of, it's just too good.
Tree of Redemption.
Yeah.
Defender, exchange your life total with Tree of Redemption.
Too good in this.
You can just reset your life total to 13. Huh.
So, James, I just hit export by type. I don't know if it's
Oh, that's what you were up to.
viewable
Yeah, let me check it out.
to you.
Let me check it out. It might be there.
I will provide some exciting commentary.
Did you cut?
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah, there it is, I think.
Should be Battlebox 1.1.
Yep, there it is. Okay, I'll throw that in the chat room.
Thanks.
So I got the gate crash cycle.
Oh, I got return.
So do you need to shuffle it up a little bit better?
4 cards.
No.
So how important is shuffling to this? I mean, it's obviously...
So, I mean, when you clean it up, you're probably going to have a lot of your smaller drops in the graveyard and a lot of the stuff that was left winning the game for you on the battlefield. And so I think you're definitely going to end up with clumps of potentially better cards. So definitely worth shuffling up for, but it doesn't have to be like super duper, shuffled. Again, if you play Cube at all, like about that much. Although Cube, honestly, I go a little bit deeper on the shuffling because they actually end up in drafted decks.
Do we want to talk what we're doing, or do we just want to show? Can you guys even see that?
Yeah, we can see it a little bit. Just talk through it.
Yeah, just go ahead and start playing.
Say, I play this card. Just name the card you play.
All right.
Because we're only going to do this for about 5 minutes.
2. I'll play.
So Tree of Redemption. So when you tap Tree of Redemption, your life total exchanges
with the tree's toughness.
So if you got down to 12 and then you tapped it, it would go back to 13 and the tree would go to 12.
Yes.
And then maybe you could write it down to 10 and go back and forth.
Right. Yeah, or you could go to 2 and then shoot back up to 13 again.
Right. But the tree would be 2.
So Rich just played a Boros Guildgate. So it looks like he's trying to get long-term advantage out of his sweet lands. And Blades open up with Rakdos Guildgate.
Yeah, I feel like the Guildgates are pretty good to start off on.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, Rich has started out aggressively playing Mountain after the Boros Guildgate.
Knight of the Glory.
Remind me on the land. Do you automatically get to pick what land you're putting in?
Yeah, it's
into
like
play?
an exile zone, sort of similar to like your command zone.
Okay, so you get to pick which.
And you get to pick which one you want. So Rich just played Knight of Glory.
You can look. You can look at your land. You don't have to. You're not drawing on your land. You get
you
to
never
pick.
draw land. The whole thing is just gas. And that's the other thing too is you never end up with those lame land pockets.
And you play one land
per
turn.
Yep. So Knight of Glory is the 2/1 with Exalted and protection from black. Rich is going with Simic Guildgate.
Oh, I'm bad at this game.
Rich has misplayed his land.
I did misplay my land. Attack for
3.
3.
I got nothing.
Okay, go 17. Ratchet Bomb, go.
Oh.
See? I already misplayed my land. It's like, no, that's not the one I wanted. Oh, wow.
Oh, you misplayed it.
Thing
well, I need the green, but I didn't. I should have.
You need a different
slammed my
color?
forest and not my Guildgate. It's fine though.
White.
Go.
Okay. Untap. Upkeep. Draw.
Blade's not opening with island flavored cards.
No, it's not in the hand.
Yeah.
I got 1 blue card. Okay, 2 blue cards in hand now.
So that's a really cool thing is, again, it also forces you, for some players, especially when they start, they kind of get home in certain colors or color pairs.
Yeah.
And because this is a 5-color format, it really allows you to play the full range of Magic cards.
Although I imagine you could develop battle boxes in 2 colors or whatever you wanted to.
Yeah,
also,
again,
that might be
really
interesting.
All right, so for instance, I just stacked with my Knight Glory. He played Slice and... I hate Slice and Dice. Ugh. Slice and Dice. It costs 4 colorless and 2 red. Slice and Dice deals 4 damage to each creature, or when you cycle it, it deals 1 damage to each creature. So right now it's just doing 1.
So in response to him,
I'm gonna after with the Exalted Trigger on the stack, I'm gonna Slaughter Hornet.
Sure, that's rough.
Give me +3/+2.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So hit you for 6.
Yep, I take 6.
Okay.
I draw the card off of that.
Yep, you're still gonna be able to draw. So,
so Blades falls to 11.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
As we herald it as the most fair format. Rich is getting ahead, but way down on cards.
Chat room, what do you think so far? I mean, is this interesting? Is this something you're going to try?
I don't know if showing my hand helps or not.
It does a little bit. You can see a little bit.
Even.
Okay.
So Blade just played
It gets
Arctic Aven.
Oh yeah, these are okay. So Marshall Sutcliffe did a really good article on the mothership actually a few weeks ago that talked about like these guys like they get
The
+1/+1. Yeah, like the Curd Ape cycle, and those are actually perfect examples of cards that would go great in a deck like this. So.
Oh yeah.
And actually, the new I built this before M15 came out, so I'll probably be adding some of the new
Lightning Helix you.
Curd Ape cycle stuff.
Yeah.
Go to 23, and you're at 9. No.
Okay.
8.
So, Verbal Wanderer says, sorry for the question, but the land pack themselves contain the same lands?
Well, I actually like the variety. So what I did is so the allied color lands, so like your blue-red, or sorry, that's enemy. So your white-blue, blue-black, black-red, red-green, green-white, like that all was one of my land packs. And then I did like enemy-colored lands, so like white-black, blue, red,
2/1.
Red, green, red, white. Like these enemy colored lands.
Yep.
But the idea is as long as you can make in total 3 of every color.
Right.
Attack
and
for 3?
Oh, you want 3 of every color
When you play all 10 of your lands.
7. Put you at
Or your guild gates all make 2 of every.
So you have land packs are 10 cards. And
Mine
you want to make 3 of each color.
Yep.
And so they don't have to be identical. They could be, but you could just make different ones too. Just depends on what you want to do.
I like the fact that there's you're not playing with the same kinds of lands every time. So again, it just throws in more variety and asks you different questions every time you play. Again, the reasons to play this format are to play with cards that are a little bit different every time. That it's skill testing, and you get to do different kinds of things each time you play.
See what I mean? Beware the Wampus.
Wampus says he'll try it. No,
you're questioning me.
Sin Collector just came down.
So I got Ravenous Rats and the Fires of Yavimaya.
I can't get either.
No, they could verbal. They could have both the same land packs if you wanted to make them identical.
You don't have to.
But you don't have to. So it might add a tiny bit of variance if you wanted to make the land packs different.
Colonian Tusker. Blades pulls back ahead on board for sure.
What Damon was saying is he just makes sure that at least out of the 10 lands you can produce 3 of each color.
Yep. Also, like if you look at the guilds that were in Return to Ravnica, that's another one of my land packs, and then the guilds from Gate Crash is another one of my land packs as well. So that's like a mix of allied and enemy colors.
Guild Gate. Fires of Yavimaya.
Yep.
Eye Munker, Monkey
Ravenous
Z.
Rats.
Discard a card. So, Rich, are you hellbent? Do you use 0 cards in hand?
I have 1.
1 in hand. And Blades is still with 4 in hand?
Yep.
So, again, there's
5.
definitely some catch-up that can happen in this game for sure.
Yeah. So what's the score right now?
I'm at 23. He's at, I want to say 4. Yep, 4.
Yep.
Go ahead.
But now I feel like he's ahead on board for sure.
Is that right?
And way ahead in cards on hand. So, like, I don't know. I feel like he could definitely come back.
Uh-huh.
That's a pretty good card. Also, because these cards are cheap, if you ever wanted to have really fancy stuff, you could like foil out all your commons.
That'd be awesome.
And have like a blingy battle box. It's like still really cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, James, I'm just curious if you have access to it, like running through the battle box on your financial stuff. I'm just kind of curious to see what the approximate cost would be.
I don't have access to it, but let me see. It would be on yours.
Oh, okay.
Did you? Oh, you're the one that. Yeah, you could probably look at it on yours.
Does it just say at the top?
Where does it say that? If you go to the, it's at the bottom of the deck. At the very bottom.
My deck kind of just got up and running.
I think I just hold off here. Go ahead.
Untap. Upkeep. Draw.
So maybe I was a liar. It says it's $900.
Oh, that's baloney.
I think that's overcosted, and also it's really hard to say because like these are each's prices if you wanted to buy all these random commons, and again like
that's not true.
You truly can like look at just cards you already have.
Yeah, there's no way it's 900.
So
I'd have to look at the list.
I mean, again, I'm looking at like Ravenous Rats, Fires of Yavimaya. Like there's one rare on the battlefield.
Bant Sojourners.
Dun dun dun. We talked about him.
We did.
Sure.
Beetleform Mage. You're at 4?
I'm at 4.
What are the odds that he's got the Fog?
Or the Aether Spout. That's not in there, actually. I'm sorry.
The Aetherize.
That would actually be a really good card to put in there, though, I think.
No, I think that'd be too warping.
What?
Aether Spout?
That's right, Aetherize. My bad.
Moving to your attack step?
Yeah, go to my attack step. Best your might. Tapping down.
You can't really attack with much of anything. Sure.
So Blade just played a Pestermite tapping down the Knight of Glory. And the rest of his board is Knight of Glory, Ravenous Rats, Fires of Yavimaya, Bant Sojourners, and Beetleform Mage.
Attack for 3. Trigger.
Summoning Sickness?
Fires of Yavimaya.
Fires of Yavimaya. Creature take a draw of haste.
Oh. Blades' board is Pestermite, Sin Collector, and Colonian Tusker, the 3/3 for green, which is spicy, and I like it.
Oh, that's horrible. Block.
Yeah, dude, you should totally make it.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be making battle boxes.
Yeah, I think if you've been listening for a while, we've mentioned this several times. It's been tough to find.
This episode has been put off for.
We've been talking about it for a while.
And like again, if I just went on too long about battle box, I'm sorry, guys. I think this is the magic that I always wanted to play.
I should imagine like when I first started playing, when like, you were worried about the things on the board and not what was in hand.
And like you also were worried, or it also kind of reminds me too of like the days of like let's each buy a starter deck. Yeah. You know, like it's also approximately that power level.
Well, like everybody in the chat saying that you're not like I have tons of cards at home, huh? Like it's perfect for that. Like just all these cards you're not even using, right? Just throw them in a battle box.
Yeah, I mean, probably your biggest cost is going to be sleeving up the whole thing. If you want to sleeve it up. Like, but you don't even have to, again.
Yeah, you don't have to, because they're
commons. Like, who cares, you know? Just don't play on the pavement in front of your house, okay, kids?
Yeah, for real.
Good friend of the program.
Counter?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Oh! Ruining your Ogre Battle Driver.
Thanks, man.
Untap. Upkeep.
What was it Kevin said that he used to play like on his front sidewalk and he put like a Mox or something dumb like that like on his sidewalk?
No, his friend ate a Mox. I thought that's what happened.
Oh yeah. Anyways,
play.
Oh, which one did he eat? That was like that, or
it was an LED. It was a Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yeah,
I'm gonna cycle Bant Sojourners. Make it 1/1 token.
Wait, I thought he was on the battlefield.
He Grasp of.
Oh, Grasp of Phantoms.
Grasp of Phantoms.
Oh, cool.
Which is so good.
Yeah, put it on top of your library. Resonating cycle, dude. Sorry, I know I'm talking about cards in your hand, but the resonating cycle, dude. That's a card.
Tax. Actually, hold on. Tap for a green and blue. Give him +2/+2 and flying.
So there's a cycle from the Alara block of these 5 different cards that have the word resounding in front of them. And
take 2.
They all have a very normal
prices to give this guy
ability.
+2/+2.
So something like, so like for 3 mana, like 2 in a red, you can deal 3 damage at instant speed. But you can cycle it for 8 mana.
Okay.
And draw a card
Cycle
and
this
deal
and kill
6
you?
instead.
Just kidding. Just shoot you for 3.
Okay.
So like it like doubles the effect. You know?
Barely enough.
So that was a
See,
game.
It was a pretty fast game. Like
That really didn't take that long, yeah.
I mean, like, granted, I did have
That was fairly
a pretty
aggro, and I
nuts
played
draw.
it a
Well,
bit wrong,
Blades hadn't had a
but-
chance to play this up until now. This is the first chance, even though we've been talking about it. So I wanted to have him experience it, see what he thinks.
I think this format is pretty crap. I think it's highly favored.
He says right after losing. It totally favored Rich in his knowledge of the format because he's played before.
Absolutely, 100%. No, I think that this it vaguely with
He
the
had
knowledge
how
of
long
the
did you have the
format,
Doom Blade, though?
but I was sitting on it for a
Because
while.
I had the Nightly Glory turn 2, which is kind of
Well,
Yeah,
it
Night of Glory
was-
is pretty rough.
I sat on a bit of things too much for too long, and I think that if I could play this format more, then I could probably do better in all means of Magic.
Oh, something else.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I guess, James, when you get ready to move back into like what will be part of the actual podcast again,
Yeah.
let us know because there's one thing that I forgot to add.
Okay, why don't we do that now?
Okay, so
I cut out a part here that's going to be on YouTube. Rich and Blades played a quick game of BattleBox. So if you're interested in that, check it out on YouTube. And Damon, you said you had something else you wanted to add before we move on.
Again, I would suggest we'll include links to Ben Stark's BattleBox and Brian DeMar's BattleBox as well, and also my own BattleBox. So feel free to look at it as like a basic template. But when you're building your BattleBox, what I did is I grabbed cards that I wanted to play. I put cards in each color, like sorted them by color, and then similar to when like you're doing a sealed deck or a draft, I mana curved each one of those colors and just tried to make them look kind of like a really big sealed deck.
Interesting. Okay, so each color is mana curved then.
Right. Each
Interesting.
color individually was mana curved, and then also tried to have the same number of cards in each color as well, and that created some good balance. I also tried to make sure that I had, slightly more creatures in white and green. Good number of removal.
Right.
Fewer creatures, but more powerful spells.
Yeah,
in blue.
definitely.
I mean, just try to look at the basic way.
Definitely
that you would build
look
a core
at the
set.
lists. I think that's a good starting place. But then you can do subs and just use what you have to fill it out. But using the curve method like you were talking about, that sounds like some good advice.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else, guys, on the on our main phase that you want to comment on? Rich, what are your thoughts?
Go fight, win.
Okay.
I just think the battle box is definitely worth looking into, especially with tons of commons and uncommons not using anyway. Might as well make
or
some
like
use
just
of
junk
them.
rares that like you can't even trade to anybody.
Like,
Yeah,
nobody
which
wants
will
them.
be total bombs.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Like so many of the
Yeah.
junk rares like become important, and like you can be excited about
Playing
opening
them
junk
again.
rares.
Yep.
Because like, oh well, maybe this is like not too powerful for my battle box. That'd be super
Right.
sweet. So
It's a good way to
Anyways.
recycle, reuse,
yeah, get the
renew.
most out of each one of your Magic purchases, which is really tough as a Magic player.
It
you
is
know?
sometimes because
Be
you feel like
kind.
you open up a pack and then you're like, oh, okay, I
It's
didn't.
kind of a stinker, maybe. or
Yeah, I
whatever.
didn't pull anything.
Be kind, rewind.
Be kind, rewind. Blades, you have anything in closing? I always like to rewind my DVDs and Blu-rays. Do you do that?
All the time, man.
Every time.
Okay.
Actually, I think I mentioned this before, but I had to explain to like a 7 or 8 year old the other day. Like, he's like, I'm like, okay, put in the VHS tape. Okay, now stop and then hit rewind. And he's like, why? I'm like, because it's at the end. And he's like, but
I don't get it. That
I'm like,
is so
okay,
awesome.
take it back out. Look at the big chunk of tape on the right hand side. That's the wrong side. We need to get the tape to the other side. He's like, how do we do that? I'm like, we rewind it.
The whole idea of
I only rewind with TiVo.
yeah, the whole idea of rewinding is just so foreign with random access. I tell you, Blades. Closing remarks.
Nothing really all that much. Just the format. I actually really do like it. It looks interesting. It looks unique. The lands on the side, that is very highly. You need to plan out like turns and turns ahead. And even though you're drawing into more goodness, I feel like I may have not played optimally there.
Well, that was your first time. So
Well, that's one thing too. But even with that, like the more and more you could play this, I feel like this could be a quick way to jump your skill fairly quickly.
Exactly. Okay. If there's no objection, let's move along.
Combat phase.
All right, so what happened this week in the world of Magic Combat?
Game day we had.
Oh, yeah,
So
game
you
day.
did pretty well. I feel like, do we want to end on you so we end on a high note?
Well, we're always ending on me because I'm always doing well.
I mean,
though.
because like I didn't do as like I feel like if you go first and I have to follow you up, that I feel like a Jobin and a neckbeard and not good about myself. So
do it. Do your little schmoochy thing.
no, so I actually got a draft M15 for the first time for Friday Night Magic. We do like a dollar tournament on alternating weeks, and when that happens, for players who aren't interested in playing for smaller stakes, we open up a draft to run concurrently with our FNM. And so, anyways, I just, because of busyness and other stuff, like I finally got a chance to draft M15, and I drafted the blue-red sort of artifact deck, although I didn't even run the Angry Scissors because I only had 5 artifacts, and I feel like that was enough.
I don't know. I bet it is, though.
See, the thing is, I don't
had
want to sometimes thing.
insult artifact, and I didn't even do it either.
See, I don't want the sometimes thing. I want the sure thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Drafting
I don't know.
rewards you for the sure thing, not the sometimes.
And
thing.
like, so
Yeah.
here's the thing: the pros, all the pros agree. Like they asked, like it was almost a unanimous answer at Pro Tour. What's the best card you could open? Soul of Theros.
I agreed. I heard that.
Pick
That's
one,
the number
pack
one.
one. Soul of Theros. Cut off white from the left.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, well, I mean, at least it's a cool money card. Not really, but it's a cool card. I got a mythic in a draft. That's sweet. And then I was like, maybe gonna jump into the black-green reanimator, like, you know, style deck where like you just mine the graveyard and you run the guys that like push cards into the graveyard for 2 mana, and you run
Satyr
Gravedigger and
Wayfinders.
Satyr Wayfinder. So like pack one, I was able to pick up 2 Satyr Wayfinders because there was nothing that seemed good in my color. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll pick up these guys so I have support for this other deck just in case like the wheels fall off and I have to go, you know, the other direction. So I open up pack 2, and sitting in front of my face is Lightning Strike, and then the Fester something or other, the Festermite, who like gets +1/+1 for each creature in your graveyard. So I had a choice to make, and I went with the Lightning Strike.
Am I wrong?
And so of course I'm the blue-red deck now with not quite enough artifacts. And then I get to pack 3, and I open up a Garruk. So I got really good packs.
Wow.
And I drafted the Garruk because money. And then
of course.
I just finished out my red-blue deck, and I went win-win, made it to the finals, and almost pulled off the win against the only person at the table who was drafting the black-green reanimator deck. And he was just like kill your guy, play a fatty. I'm like, sweet, kill your fatty with 2 spells. And he's just like, restock with my kill spell and my fatty, replay it, kill your next guy. Like, it's just the internal card advantage from that deck. If like you're the only guy doing it, man, you get so rewarded. So anyways, it was just like overall a really good experience. I felt like I was playing with theoretically like subpar cards and just doing my best to like eke out the most
Stay
advantage.
alive, right?
So anyways, I don't know, I was pretty stoked. I beat the Lifelinky Pegasus with the giant 5 mana enchantment that gives it indestructible and protection from all colors.
Yeah, this isn't a train.
It's fine. So,
We're
anyways,
being
I
invaded.
beat that card, which was really, really super exciting. So, anyways, that was my time. I played a draft. I played also like a pile of Hearthstone this week, and like got up to like a level 19, which if you play Hearthstone, it's not that impressive. But I've invested a literal $0 in that game. I just win tickets and like play drafts and then do badly.
I loved
So-
playing Hearthstone when it came out in December, and
Right.
now I'm just.
There's some crazy
I'm
combo
over
decks
it.
that exist now.
I know.
I haven't been paying attention to it
It's
at all.
so much fun. I just never get time.
Yeah, no, there are these like I was like playing against this one deck, and then they're just
Kibler's
like,
been all over the Hearthstone.
they're just like play a spell, play a spell, play a spell, play a spell, play a guy, and like it gets combos for every spell that's played before it. And suddenly I have like a 16/16 that
Are
I'm
they
staring
playing
down.
druids?
No, they're playing
Shamans?
the one that the assassin lady,
The rogue.
Valera? The rogue, yeah.
The rogue.
The rogue has these crazy like if you know the combo spells, like if you play a spell before this, it does
Oh,
cool
they're
other
playing
things.
little combo. Like
Yeah, they're playing, like, crazy
the
little-
rogue combos.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's how the deck's supposed to be played, man.
Well, I don't know. All I know is I got blown out, man.
You never played.
It's
you never played WoW. That's
Anyways,
funny.
So Blades, Rich, did you do the things? I know
Okay.
you played Blue Red also.
So yeah, I drafted. Our shop finally drafted for the first time ever. Thank goodness. Friday.
Rich has kind of a smaller startup shop that he works at. So.
Yeah, and so I played Blue Red tempo as well. Ended up taking third because of my tie breaks. Lost to the guy who was playing Red Black Suicide deck. Which is basically the deck that plays all of the I'm gonna kill myself while killing your things and doing tons of damage spells. Dropped to that, but ended up getting like some pretty cool stuff. Somebody passed me a Soul Ravnica, pack 3. I don't know, like, and I got like
tons
just take
of
it? Yeah. I just was like, okay, cool.
Well, I guess it's in your color,
it's
right?
in my colors,
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, sweet, awesome. But man, dude, I'm telling you right now, like, Coral Barrier, so good in that deck because you're just able to, like, easy 2-for-1 basically. But anyway, so drafted, did well there. Game day came around. I didn't do game day. I didn't feel like playing. I just felt like, running the shop and stuff. So, and it was pretty fun. We had a lot of guys. We only had like 9 people that showed up. 9
so
or
like
10
auto
people.
top 8.
But yeah, like auto top 8. That's like super tiny. But and then
You say that.
No, but those
I'm
moments.
the 9th. Being a 9th person doesn't automatically make me
right,
auto-type.
right.
The thing is like those moments like game day where somebody wins a mat and gets cool prizes, like that actually like does a lot for beginning community too. So I
Right.
think it's really cool.
Well, like the guy
It's
who
frozen.
won it was playing.
Hang on a second.
It's because of the garage.